In this video, we're going to talk about
Michelangelo di Lodovico Buonarroti Simoni, who was born the 6th of March of 1475 in Capri, Republic of Florence, present-day Tuscany.
His mother was too sick to take care of him, so his parents hired a nurse to take her place. His mother died when he was only 6 years old.
Michelangelo's childhood lacked attention, and that led him to be shy and to not trust others.
A few years later, his father sent him to Florence to learn grammar. While he was there, he met Francesco Granacci, 6 years older than him. Francesco was the one who encouraged Michelangelo to follow his own artistic vocation.
At the age of 13, he told his father he wanted to apprentice in the workshop of the painter Domenico Ghirlandaio.
After 1 year of learning the art of fresco, Michelangelo went on to study sculpture school in the Medici Gardens. And later on, he was invited into the household of Lorenzo de' Medici the Magnificent.
During the years he spent in the Medici Gardens, he began to study anatomy, but the contact with dead bodies caused problems with his health, obliging him to interrupt his activities periodically.
The sculptures Battle of the Centaurs and the Madonna of the Stairs were produced by the time he was 16 years old. They showed that he had achieved a personal style at an early age.
After the death of Lorenzo the Magnificent, Florence was divided into rival factions, the Arrivati and the Piagnoni. This caused Michelangelo to go to Rome.
In Rome, he soon produced his first large-scale sculpture, the over life-size Bacchus.
Just after finishing the Bacchus, he did the marble Pieta, which is still in its original place in St. Peter's Basilica. This sculpture is not only considered one of the most famous works of art, but also the greatest sculpture ever created.
In 1501, after several years of political confusion, Florence was once again a republic, and that is when Michelangelo returned there. He produced the David between 1501 and 1504 after returning to Florence. He used it as a model of heroic courage, in the hope that the Florentines would understand his message. This biblical hero demonstrated that inner spiritual strength can prove to be more effective than arms.
The enmity between Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci is famous. Despite of the 20 years of difference in age, Leonardo returned to Florence. He was hoping to regain position. He was received with honors, but could not ignore the fact that Michelangelo's name was on everyone's lips.
In April 1508, Pope Julius II gave Michelangelo a new job, to paint 12 figures of the apostles and some decorations on the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel. He began his work in May 1508, and by October 1512, he had painted over 300 figures. This work made a great impression of artists of the time.
Before the assignment of the Sistine ceiling in 1505, Michelangelo had been commissioned by Julius II to produce his tomb, which was planned to be the most magnificent of Christian times.
Michelangelo also undertook between 1519 and 1534 the commission of the Medici tombs for the new sacristy of San Lorenzo.
Michelangelo's crowning achievement as an architect was his work at St. Peter's Basilica, where he was made chief architect in 1546. The building was being constructed according to Donato Bramant's plan, but Michelangelo ultimately became responsible for the outer end of the building on the exterior and for the final form of its dome.
Michelangelo spent the last days of his life laying in bed with a severe fever. After several days of suffering, he finally died on February 18, 1564.